Representative Phelps, you want to take 404 first? Oh, well, 4 something. 440, that was a great engine in the day. Yes, ma'am. Let's do 440 real quick. Representative Phelps, on your bill.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is a bill just wanting to address eating disorders in our school, which is age appropriate. Actually, I had a young lady who asked me to bring this information a couple of years ago, and I've spent time even getting information from the Pennington Institute, as well as at this point trying to confirm the information that the contact with a doctor from Ochsner and also LDH. And my goal there was to teachers all the time can just pull resources to share this eating disorder information that's age appropriate. But I'm waiting to hear back from Ochsner, because during Eating Disorder Month, I don't know if any of you saw that. I think that was about a month ago. Very great information from a doctor at Ochsner's in Shreveport. And my goal was to not have teachers pull resource information, but to have specific information from LDH and the hospitals on what to address with our students. And I plan to have that between now and the floor, and I ask for your favorable passage.
Thank you. We do have a green card here. Brandy, Melissa, here and willing and wanting to speak in support. Good morning, Brandy.
I'm actually the one that asked her to bring this before the pandemic, and I'm glad she's kept it on the radar, because I'm Brandy, for y'all that don't know me. And
Would you state your whole name for the record, please?
Brandy Melissa.
Thank you.
Because eating disorders is the most expensive and deadly mental illness, and not all insurance is covered, so I'm going to get into that in a minute. I support HB 440 by Representative Tammy Phelps for reasons that may shock most in this building and others listening who know me. I approached Representative Phelps and others about carrying this bill relating to eating disorder awareness education before the pandemic, and I appreciate that she didn't forget the fight with all that has happened. Anorexia and bulimia have been a part of my life since I was 16. No one talked about the subject in my academic career, and with everything I've been through from it over the years, I wish that it would have been discussed as much, if not more, than PE in elementary school consisted of showing us how to use feminine hygiene products. You heard me right. That began in 4th grade. Kids today are being bullied and ending their lives for less. Had this been discussed in school, I could have known before it nearly killed me and ruined my original teeth how to deal with this, since not all insurance is covered treatment. I will also ask everyone who sees nothing wrong in making comments about the body image of another person, think twice before you do, because your words can do more harm than good. On behalf of all those who may be struggling with eating disorders in schools, please send HB 440 to Governor Edwards so it can become law and help those who may be suffering in silence with nowhere to turn. Thank you.
Thank you very much. President Phelps has a motion to pass HB 440 favorable to the House floor. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, HB 440 is being favorably passed to the House floor. Thank you.
House Bill 440 by Representative Phelps, Title 17, School Curricula to require public schools to incorporate eating disorder instruction.
Representative Phelps.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is just, I would say, a simple bill asking for a curriculum added on in health to our middle and high schools to talk about eating disorders, which have causes of biological effects, psychological, and social effects. Age-appropriate curriculum, and I do have an amendment.
All right, let's take up the amendment.
Mr. Speaker and members, Representative Phelps offers up a one-page set of amendments, 4609.
All right, on your amendment.
I have been working with the Pennington Institute, and will continue to have collaboration with Dr. Seinberg at Ochsner about the guidance on the information to be shared. The amendment basically, before COVID, I was approached by a young lady Brandy Melissa, and some of the sergeant at arms I think knows her. I was told even before I got to this building that she was here every day. She asked me about running this bill and information that really stuck with me since COVID. I had not had any conversation with her. Rep. Armaday gave me her information and told me that she wanted to come and support the bill. I had often thought about over these years, but I had not had an opportunity to see her. I think she's here today, and the amendment basically asks that this act will be cited and referred to as the Brandy Melissa Act, and I did see a hand in the back. And I ask for your favorable passage.
All right, any objection to the adoption of the amendment? All right, seeing none, the amendment is adopted. Representative Phelps moves final passage. All those in favor vote yea. Those opposed vote nay. The clerk will open the machines. Members, vote your machines. Vote your machines, members. Bishop, yes. Glover, yes. Lyons, yes. Elders, yes. Desatel, yes. You through voting, members? Greg Miller, yes. Nelson, yes. Through voting? Echoes, yes. All right, close them up. 70 yeas, 24 nays, and the bill is finally passed. Representative Phelps moves to adopt the title.
All right, Representative Phelps, you have, is that the one you wanted, 440?
440, please.
All right, HB 440 provides relative to eating disorders, instructions in school.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And let me apologize, we were making a quorum next door, and so that's why we both had to step out and we had to vote. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. The bill is simply that sharing information about eating disorders from middle school and high school. I think we've narrowed it down to age appropriateness, which would not be any cost to the system in our science class or PE education courses. I have worked with Ochsner's in Shreveport as well as the Pennington Institute with making sure that there would be sharing rightful information. Teachers do have an opportunity to have resources, and we're not just asking them to pull down a resource in order to share that information. That's where some of the expert sharings will come in as I continue to work with them.
Okay, question by Senator Jackson.
Mr. Chairman, at the appropriate time, ask that we report this bill favorable.
Okay. All right, question by Senator Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to thank Representative Phelps for bringing this. Very valuable that our youngest to oldest in grades K through 12 understand healthy eating habits, and Louisiana's reputation as the unhealthiest state needs to change. And one person at a time, we can do that.
Yes,
Our corner of the world up there in northwest Louisiana doesn't have all the resources that they do in Baton Rouge, and Pennington is a remarkable resource.
Yes, sir.
And I really appreciate you tying them into our area as well as our schools. Thank you for bringing this bill.
Thank you. And just to let you know, even the information from Pennington was right on time when I didn't expect it, even before the bill. And during Eating Disorder Awareness Month is when I saw the information from Ochsner's, one of the doctors there. So, thank you.
Yes. And we also have Brandy, is it Brandy Melissa? If you would come forward, would like to speak on behalf of the bill. Welcome to the committee.
Long time no see, Senator Fields.
Yeah.
You are my senator, in case you forgot.
Yeah, it is good to see you again.
Same to you. Chairman Fields, Vice Chairman Jackson, committee members, and fellow citizens of Louisiana. Louisiana prides itself on being the most pro-life state in the USA. Being pro-life, however, doesn't end at 40 weeks gestation, nor does it have exceptions for vulnerable humans that have differences they have no control over. Before the pandemic, I reached out to Representative Tammy Phelps and many others about carrying this bill on eating disorder awareness in schools. My reasons for this may shock most who know me and others listening, because unlike the right to life that impacts my very existence, Domestic violence that I not only live with the effects of from utero and lost my mom too, Thanksgiving Eve 2017. Disabilities being that my medical records today have diagnoses that should have me in a vegetative state, if not dead. I'm not outspoken about this. Since I was 16, anorexia and bulimia have been a major struggle for me. Eating disorders are the most fatal mental health crisis. I wish that my academic career would have included discussions about eating disorder awareness and education in PE, but starting in 4th grade, I was taught how to use measure pads. Students are being bullied and ended their lives for less. Those who suffer in silence with eating disorders already feel unseen and feel like they have nowhere to turn for help, being that not all insurances cover quality treatment, and some who suffer don't have resources to understand that they matter. Had I had the chance to have awareness raised in PE and other topics, as other topics like adoption are now going to be allowed, the times that my eating disorders nearly stole my life and damaged my original teeth could have been avoided, but it was not discussed in my PE health sections. So I sit here today advocating to hopefully save others who know the shoes I wore, feeling helpless and alone. Bessie had no opposition in House Ed, though a rep in the chamber said this should be decided by them. I know from dealing with Bessie on disability issues in schools, they usually get direction on curricula and other things from the legislature. So on behalf of those who suffer in silence, please pass HB 440 to at least give those who suffer a chance to know they are not alone and their help is available to deal with a life-altering disease. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for coming to testify.
You're welcome.
And we also have Susan East Nelson in support who do not wish to speak. All right, the board is clear. Members, what's your pleasure on House Bill 440? Senator Jackson moves that we report House Bill 440 favorable. Any objections? Hearing no objections, that bill is reported favorable.
Thank you.
Well, doctors say eating disorders are becoming more common among kids, but a new bill signed into law by the governor looks to correct those trends here at home. Our Capitol correspondent, Chris Rosado, joins us with how this will take shape. Chris.
Yeah, Scotty, this new law will require public schools to teach the dangers of eating disorders to your child, as well as prevention.
In the age of social media, kids have access to endless images online. One Louisiana lawmaker worries about children comparing themselves to unrealistic beauty standards, potentially making them vulnerable to developing eating disorders.
I thought it was definitely worth trying to introduce it or even begin to talk about it in public school.
A bill by Shreveport Representative Tammy Phelps was just recently signed by Governor Edwards that would require public schools to teach about the dangers of eating disorders and how to catch the early signs of one developing.
Would you say like now we need this more than ever?
I do believe so.
According to Phelps, it's a statewide initiative that each school system would be responsible for incorporating into your child's curriculum. The lessons would begin in 6th grade and continue on through high school. Schools already have health and science courses, so this would not cost the state any money. Representative Phelps says the eye-opening testimony from advocate Brandy Melissa is what inspired her to draft the bill.
With the way kids get bullied and stuff these days, I mean, body image is a serious issue. So I just decided to try to do something to help that situation and let them know that they're not alone.
As a kid, Melissa says she struggled with anorexia and bulimia.
One time I was literally sent home from a local ER, and I called my mom when I was sitting outside waiting for a cab, telling her that they were sending me home to die.
Research shows anorexia is the most fatal mental health diagnosis in the country, and Brandy wants to make sure it doesn't claim the life of another innocent child.
Even if it only saves one life, that's worth it, in my opinion. I'm sure it's going to impact a lot more because I don't want another child being a suicide statistic.
Now, the EDR school system says they are in the early stages of implementing a solid plan for this in our schools. These lessons will begin this coming school year. Scotty, back